Did you hear what was just said in Congress? A sitting lawmaker just told a witness he would have been treated better if he were an illegal immigrant. And that was only the beginning. What followed was a jaw-dropping rewrite of January 6th, accusations of FBI entrapment, and claims that the truth was deliberately buried. This exchange spiraled fast, and you need to see it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speciale, you can take great honor to know that Mr. Moskowitz would have treated you with much more kindness had you been an illegal appearing before this committee.
That's a lie, but
Mr.
okay.
Mr. Romano, have you been deposed by this committee, sir?
No, not by this committee.
Would you be willing to participate in a deposition by this committee?
Absolutely.
That's going to happen. Mr. Chairman, the COVID era government oppression was very real and impacted American citizens. Our freedom to travel the land was greatly restricted. Our freedom to congregate, our freedom to worship, our freedom to speak. The government oppression that America suffered in the COVID era leading up to the November election cycle of 2020 was unprecedented. The Biden FBI did penetrate legitimate First Amendment communications and groups of American patriots who had the audacity to object to government oppression. The Biden FBI, trained to manipulate and agitate, did foment rage within these groups of American patriots. The November 2020 election cycle was compromised. The Biden FBI did have undercover agents and confidential informants embedded within the rally crowds on J4, J5, and J6. And the Biden FBI did conspire to entrap MAGA Americans prior to J6 and then successfully entrapped several hundred Americans on J6. The Biden FBI and DOJ did unrighteously persecute, arrest, and imprison entrapped Americans. The FBI Director Wray did lie to Congress repeatedly about all of this abhorrent government oppression against the American people. President Trump did rightfully pardon the Americans who fell prey to the Biden FBI and DOJ. And within months of his inauguration, the Trump FBI did identify and arrest the J6 pipe bomber suspect using only the evidence that had been in the possession of the Biden FBI since 2021. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to present for the record a letter dated January 11, 2021, to the administrator of TSA, signed by Benny Thompson, then chairman of Homeland Security Committee, and John Katko, the ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee, a renowned moderate New York-leaning liberal Republican, now gone from Congress, identifying Trump supporters as insurrectionists and suggesting efforts by the TSA to disrupt the travel of white supremacists and other domestic terrorists, to quickly deny air carrier services to individuals identified as members of those groups, and to encourage efforts to identify and add to watch lists the perpetrators and members of American organizations that had the audacity to challenge the narrative that was presented under the COVID era and the oppression that the American people suffered.
Without objection.
Mr. Nance, regarding drawing from your expertise, long-standing with the FBI, can you find any reason, good sir, that the FBI would not have solved the pipe bomber crime based upon the evidence in their possession, including cellular analytics that we were advised by whistleblowers that under 200 possible cell numbers were identified and presented to the FBI and the illegitimate J6 original Liz Cheney committee? Why did the FBI not solve that crime, good sir?
Well, I think the rapidity of the Patel administration or directorship in solving this case demonstrates exactly why the Ray FBI failed to do so. I mean, as has been stated before, this was a matter of leadership. I think this is also a matter of messaging. I think that, and people need to understand the relationship between DOJ and the FBI, that the FBI investigates criminal activity, or should be, and DOJ conducts prosecutions.
But how could the FBI be that inept? I just ask you that. To me, I believe it was purposeful. I believe they identified their suspects in the under 200 numbers, and none of them fit the profile of the so-called alleged white supremacist mega activists, so they stepped away from that investigation. I believe that there's no way they could be that inept. Mr. Chairman, my time has expired, but my passion on this subject has not.
The gentleman is yielded back. The chair notes that there is a lot of passion regarding this topic. And it is something that's passionate on both sides of the aisle here. And our objective, my objective in this committee, is to get to the truth of, without political bias, of what happened. And the question remains, how did the previous FBI go 5 years without even a lead, using the exact same data? No exception. I've talked to the FBI agents that
This moment wasn't just heated, it was explosive. Congressman Higgins didn't ease into his remarks. He went straight for the jugular, accusing Democrats of showing more compassion to illegal immigrants than to American citizens who questioned COVID-era government power. That line alone lit the room on fire. But Higgins didn't stop there. He painted a sweeping narrative. COVID restrictions as government oppression, the 2020 election as compromised, the FBI as weaponized against dissent, January 6th defendants as entrapped Americans, not criminals. Then came the most serious accusation of all, that the FBI already had the pipe bomber suspect, sat on the evidence for years, and only acted once leadership changed. Whether you agree or not, this wasn't casual rhetoric. It was a full-blown indictment of federal law enforcement delivered on the congressional record, accusing the FBI of intentional inaction, political bias, and selective justice. The witnesses' response only added fuel to the fire, suggesting that leadership, not evidence, was the deciding factor in why the case went cold. This wasn't oversight theater. This was Congress openly questioning whether the justice system itself can still be trusted. And moments like this explain exactly why Americans no longer believe official narratives, from COVID to January 6th to who gets protected and who gets prosecuted.